swallow the pain. Deadly and gorgeous, we're coming through. We're coming for you.
Alright, so I'm talking to my buddy here, Josh. We're going to play some Legacy. I plan on doing the Vintage Daily tonight, but it didn't fire, so I'll probably just jam some Legacy games with my friend here. And then, depending on when he's got to sign off, I might start doing some Vintage. So we'll see how we do with Goblins. So he's probably going to be playing Elves. I don't know that he's got many other decks online. Alright, so we won the dice roll. Definitely want to go first. This isn't a terribly fast hand. We can't cast Tarfire despite having the 2 lands. I just don't think it's good enough. So we got turn 1 Lackey, turn 2 Pile Driver, Gem Palm Incinerator to maybe burn an Elf on turn 2 to clear the way for Lackey. So I like this. We're going to want that land on top. So I think he's playing Elves, but you never know. So we're gonna run out the kind of this soft wasteland, but we'll run out the cavern. Make sure this Lackey gets through. And then next turn, depending on what Elf he plays, we'll burn it with a Gem Palm Incinerator, and hopefully get a Ringleader into play. So a 2 toughness Elf here is going to be a little bit tough. We'll have to run out the Goblin Pile Driver. So I think I'll still... I could still attack with the Goblin Lackey. Burn the Death Right. I think I kind of like slowing down his start. Not sure if it's the right play. I mean, he has to block, so... So we're kind of trading our Elf, or I mean our Goblin Lackey for that Elf. Just trying to get ahead on board. You know, maybe he kept a hand light on mana. They don't run very many. So hopefully he was kind of depending on that Death Right. So that's good for us. I actually wouldn't mind drawing some removal for that Dryad Arbor. Looks like we'll just get to run out this pile driver though. But next turn we'll have a Goblin ringleader, and hopefully we've slowed him down enough to kind of build up our board. So Heritage Druid would be bad here. Yeah, so he's got it. So next turn he's, you know, probably going to have Natural Order up. Glimpse of Nature is going to be bad here. So I think we still run out the Goblin ringleader. I don't think the Sting Scourge is going to do much for us. So kind of a whiff. I kind of feel like swinging in here. Trade off a couple creatures at worst. We're going to have that ringleader maybe build our hand back up if we lose these two goblins. Although we won't lose both. And if he goes Natural Order next turn, we're going to lose anyway. So unfortunately there's not a whole lot of bluffing with goblins. I mean, we can't really hold up, you know, maybe we have a Pyrokinesis, but we would have fired it off already by now. So he knows he's not running into a, you know, Force of Will or anything like that. So if he can kill us, then he just kind of has to go through the motions. Of course, he might not even be running Natural Order. He could be running the Chaos Elves build, which is a little bit more grindy. Just try to generate that value with these elves, like Elvish Visionary with Wirewood Symbiote, Quarian Ranger. So I'm just going to F6 here. So Elves matchup's definitely worse game one. We just don't really have that much interaction for what they're trying to do. We have a couple, I'm running 4 Tarfires. I do have the Gem Palm Incinerators, but you know, we're a little light on removal. You know, the Goblin Lackey plan's not as good because they've obviously got a lot of chump blockers. Same thing with Goblin Pile Driver, probably not getting through for a lot of damage just because they clog the ground up so well. Post board though, we do have some. Yep, so there's the Crater Hoof. So we'll just move to boarding. So Goblin Sharpshooter is good. Pyrokinesis is good. I brought in Surgical Extraction before. Sometimes if you kill one of their more combo-y Goblin pieces or Elf pieces, it's not bad to be able to extract it. They run Reclamation Sage, and they can Green Sun Zenith for it, so Chalice is a little bit weaker here, but I still think on the play it's the right call. I don't think we need Mog War Marshal. With Chalice on 1, I think I can probably... So, turn 1 Lackey is still very good, especially if I have a Tarfire or a Pyrokinesis to clear the way. It can get us ahead, get a Sharpshooter into play. I think I'm going to get rid of Vial.
Well, there's one part of the holidays that's not a competition, and that's who brings you those gifts. Because at the United States Postal Service, we deliver more online purchases to homes than
Sting Scourger's not great.
That's right. Anyone, even you-know-who. Ho, ho, ho! The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
Tarfire and Chalice on 1's kind of a bit of a non-bow, but I think it's pretty strong to have that in case we don't have a Chalice to at least try to keep the board clear. I'm tempted to get rid of Siege Gang Commander here. Well, actually probably Goblin Ringleader. We'll go down to 1 or 3. So I think this looks okay. The Pyrokinesis are obviously very good. Chalice on 1 can do a good job of slowing them down. So his hand has 0 interaction and no turn 1 play, so it's just not going to be fast enough, I think. So we're going to mulligan. This hand would be great if we had a land. Pyrokinesis is pretty good, but again, it's just without land, we're not going anywhere. So mulligan. Well, this is just really bad. Well, there we go. Put that on top. So, again, depending on what he puts down, although, you know, he's got 8 2 toughness, 1 drop elves, so. I think we still trade here. So a little War Chief in play. That's actually pretty knows that I'm running Wasteland, so there's no reason for him to risk. Yep. Alright, that's not the worst draw. It is kind of a bummer we don't have a 2-drop Goblin. Although I could speed out a War Chief. I probably would have wanted to do that. I could play a Matron. Look for, what would I look for if I Matroned right now? Try to get Krenko out. I kind of like that plan, actually. Yeah, we'll go for Krenko. So it's going to be bad for us. Potentially. So, he'll probably run out of Gaia's Cradle, and then start chaining some of these, or he can return this forest with the Korean Ranger, Deathrite Shaman. Untap, maybe play a Heritage Druid. So let's F6 here. His turns take quite a while. So we'll see if he's got the Heritage Druid. You can still cast with the Deathrite. Not quite as good, but still very good at that Metal Sentinel. And I just kind of have to assume if he's running natural order that he's going to find one. Maybe not. Interesting. So he still could have cast another 1-drop. So this is pretty good. So lowering out that mountain. War Chief. No real good reason to run out the Mog War Marshal right now. I'm not going to attack them. I might as well just wait till I can vial them in. Alright, so we know he's got another forest in hand. He can generate quite a bit of mana. With that Nettle Sentinel. So if he goes another Glimpse here, I'm guessing he's probably going to cast an Elvish Visionary. Nope, he's just going to Natural Order. And I don't know that even with the Mog War Marshal, we're not going to be able to block 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 13. Yeah, if we had a Sting Scourger, probably still wouldn't save us, so we'll begin boarding. So again, bring some Chalices, Pyrokinesis, and Sharpshooters. Take the Vials out. Sting Scourger's not good. Probably a Pile Driver. And I think I took out... No, I think I left Pile Driver in.
Don't miss Disney's Moana in theaters now. Rated PG.
So I got a Ringleader.
Subway. So hurry to get your awesome Moana Kakamora action figure or floral charm bracelet today. Get one free for a limited time. Only at Subway.
I kind of want to bring in one Tuk Tuk Scrapper. Last game I saw he was running Jite. Kind of want the turn 1 Lackey play. Siege Gang Commander could be good if it somehow gets to late game. I think I just gotta get rid of the Pile Drivers. In fact, I think I like another Ringleader over another Pile Driver. So we'll go ahead and try that. Definitely want to go first. Still not great. So I think we're going to keep this just on the back of Sharpshooter if somehow we get it out. So we can't even cast that Tarfire, which is pretty terrible. We can't cycle the Gem Palm Incinerator, so we need to dig for land. And just kind of hope he gets off to a slow start. It gives us time to get the Goblin Sharpshooter out. So that is good. So we'll run that out. And hopefully that'll slow him down long enough for us to get our Ringleader on board. He is packing Abrupt Decays, I'm sure, Reclamation Sage. So this definitely isn't an answer that's going to win us the game. I'm just hoping it buys us enough time. So I kind of want to put the Mog War Marshal out. Well, I think the Goblin Lackey is better. So if he really is just stuck on with a handful of 1-drops that he can't cast, then One, two, three, four. So he's gonna Progenitus probably. Nope, so that's going to be a Reclamation Sage. So that's good. I think if he could have natural ordered into something, he would have there. So I'm kind of hoping that he's not, that he kind of sided out of that. So I think, man, I could run out the Skirk Prospector, sack the Goblin Lackey and the Prospector to get Goblin Sharpshooter in play. Actually, so I could run a Prospector out, sack a Lackey and a Cavern of Souls, Mog War Marshal, to run the Sharpshooter out and keep the Skirk Prospector. So we're going to do that. So he's got 3, 4, 3 mana, 6 cards. So as long as this Goblin Sharpshooter lives, then we're going to get a lot of value. And so we'll probably Gen Palm. Well, we can't Incinerate. Hopefully we draw a land. So that'll let us, if we draw a land, we can cast Gen Palm Incinerate off of. Even if he drops another 2-drop, we'd be able to Gen Palm Incinerate the Deathrite Shaman, nab the other 2-drop, I'm fine taking 2. Oh sweet, so I kind of want to keep the Skirk Prospector around. Otherwise I could Gen Palm Incinerate the Deathrite Shaman. So I think that's pretty good. We'll run another Chalice out. I'm tempted to attack with the Skirk Prospector and hope that he blocks with the Deathrite Shaman. But neither one of us have land, so unless he draws like another fetch land, I mean he's got the Misty, so he can tap it for mana. So that's excellent. So I think that was a bit of a mistake on his part. I think he probably just forgot. So this is great. So we'll go ahead and cycle. Well, I mean, I suppose I could wait to do it on his turn. In case there's something better to grab. We could also cast the Gem Palm Incinerator. Try to get the Goblin Ringleader out the next turn, sacking into the Skirk Prospector. That might not be a bad play. Yeah, we're gonna do that. So I need to get my hand going here. So if he's gonna make a move on the Goblin Sharpshooter, he'll probably do it before the Gem Palm Incinerator comes down. He paused because he was wondering who was targeting, but nope, I just need that mana. He's gonna try to start burning me out here. I won't get to nab the Death right next turn with the Sharpshooter when we sack the Gem Palm for mana. So I never know when the opponent's thinking this long. It can be either really good or really bad. I like to think it's usually better. So yeah, Green Sun Zenith for 1. So he could have gone for another Reclamation Sage there, so it makes me wonder if he's... maybe got another one in hand? Oh, I didn't want to do that. Well, this is pretty good. Like I always had it. Alright, so we'll sack the Marshal. So we'll get rid of the Nettle Sentinel first. Sack a Goblin. So I just need to automatically accept that. Hit that guy. Always yield. Sack a Goblin. Sack a Goblin. So he might try to burn us out, although he'll probably try to gain life. Let's see. That's fine. Alright, so we'll go Ringleader. Hopefully we'll hit some good cards. That's not so bad. Got a Cavern we can use to cast that Skirk Prospector. Swing in with the... We'll leave the Sharpshooter untapped. All right. I'm tempted to run out Krenko, because it kind of demands an immediate answer next turn. So attack first. Alright, so hopefully this Krenko lasts next turn. So it's looking pretty good. Looking very good. So I could sack this Ringleader, cast the other Ringleader. Or I could create a bunch of Goblin tokens. It was probably free to cast that Goblin Lackey before doing that, so that may have been a little bit of a mistake. So I'll hit him. Sack a Goblin. Hit him. Sack a Goblin. Or keep doing that till we can cast that Ringleader. Well, actually, we can cast that Ringleader now. Oh, whiff. And now we'll just burn him out, I think. There we go. Got there. So I still like this. Chalice on the draw isn't nearly as good. But as you can see in that last game, you know, we got our first Chalice destroyed by the Reclamation Sage, and even a Chalice coming down later in the game was enough to, you know, kind of put the game away. So Goblin Ring Leader did a lot of work that game. Kind of hoping. Yeah, hopefully we get a hand we can actually keep. It'd be nice not to have to mulligan like we've had to the last couple games. That is not a great hand. Let's see if he mulligans. I think I still have to mulligan. I mean, I guess I could hope to just get there. I've got enough land to, you know, cast pretty much anything I could draw. If he's trying to go the grindy game, like if he sided out his natural orders, then I actually don't have that bad of a hand. You know, Mog War Marshal, Goblin War Chief. Don't really have anything to tutor up. You know, I don't have any matrons. I don't have any silver bullets like, you know, Chalice or Sharpshooter. Tuk Tuk Scrapper's just in here for a GT. So I'm going to have to draw into quite a bit of gas. I just don't think it's good enough to win. So this is actually very good, potentially. So I'm able to Tarfire his turn 1 play, Pyrokinesis if he, you know, is able to load the board up, and then hopefully get a Sharpshooter in play and keep the board clean. Well, I think this is pretty good. So, it'd be nice to be able to have both Sharpshooters. Interesting he didn't play anything that turn. Maybe he's hoping for a good Glimpse turn next turn. Maybe his, you know, hand's a little bit light on action. So it'd be nice to draw another red card that I could pitch to Pyrokinesis. 2 sharpshooters in play would be probably game over for Elves. So hopefully he's not playing anything. Well, I guess, you know, it's possible he's just got a handful of abrupt decays. So I think we run this first sharpshooter out. I mean, I could make him make a move first. Just wait till next turn, play a ringleader. If he plays something, I can Pyrokinesis his board away. I just don't know that I really want to run that Goblin Sharpshooter out into an Abrupt Decay. I think we're going to do that. I think with this Pyrokinesis, I'm not in a huge hurry. And I'd like him to have to spend mana on his turn to kill my Sharpshooter. Alright, so not a whole lot of value with that Glimpse. That's great for us. So we'll go ahead and I think I want to run out this Ringleader. I could run out a War Chief to bait a Abrupt Decay, because if it doesn't get Abrupt Decayed, I could land 2 Hasty Sharpshooters next turn. I think I like that. Yeah, so you can Abrupt Decay. He's going to spend mana on his turn to do it. If he doesn't Abrupt Decay it, then I've got some Goblin Sharpshooters that'll swing next turn. I should have swung in there. Sitting here thinking about my lines, missing my attacks. So hopefully he tries to extend his board, and that I can, you know, make some use out of this Pyrokinesis. So that makes the Pyrokinesis a little bit worse, because he can just bounce whatever I target. So we might wait and see if he maybe uses it first. Man, it'd be really nice to get these 2 Sharpshooters down next turn. Hasty. Alright, so Bayou. Yeah, so he's probably going to Abrupt Decay. Hopefully he's not Cabal Therapying me. That would be really bad. So what's he playing? Green Sun Zenith 2. So that's actually fine. So I'm going to get both of these next turn. So I'm going to get the Werewood Symbiote, Scavenging Ooze, run out a Sharpshooter, I might as well put one there. Now see, I don't know if I want to get rid of the ring. I think I do. I think that the 2 Goblin Sharpshooters is strong enough to keep him around. I mean, but the Ringleader really speeds me up. He's got some 2 toughness creatures though. I can kind of stall out on the Sharpshooter plan if he drops enough of those. I like having 2 Sharpshooters. I'm going to get rid of the Ringleader. So this is really great for us, him playing that Scavenging Ooze. If he had played another Elf, especially a 2 toughness Elf, we would have been only able to get like the Werewood Symbiote. But thankfully he did not play an Elf. He played an Ince, no an Ooze. Can't bounce that with the Symbiote. So War Chief would be, so Pendelhaven kind of stinks. It's going to be harder to kill his 1/1s with that Pendelhaven in play. With 2 Sharpshooters though. Oh, so this is perfect. So I like to say I called that. So now we can keep this board clear. So if he's got an Abrupt Decay, we're still left with 1 Sharpshooter, so I'm pretty glad that I decided to pitch that Ringleader. Alright, always yield. Alright, and we'll start swinging in. Alright, looking pretty good. There's really no reason to run that mountain out there. Might as well bluff a card. It can't be many things, you know, from my opponent's perspective, considering if it was a Goblin, I probably would have cast it. And, you know, the kind of interaction I run, you know, maybe it's a Tuk-Tuk Scrapper, Tar Fire, could be a Chalice. I would probably run out the Chalice, though. Could be another Pyrokinesis. Yeah, so I think he's probably just going to hold on to cards. Maybe he gets a Glimpse or something. So I'm going to play the Mountain just in case I draw a Ringleader and I'm able to string a bunch of Goblins together for the win. It'd be nice to draw into some more action though. But hopefully these Goblin Sharpshooters are just going to kind of keep the board clear for us. So I think after this match, I'm probably going to try to pick up some vintage games. I'll play Merfolk in vintage. I got a couple other decks, but I've mostly just played Merfolk. So I actually wanted to play the vintage daily tonight. Didn't fire. I think it got up to 7 people at one point, but need 12. So that would have been pretty fun to stream. So I wonder what he's thinking here. So that's fine, we can't really kill it. But it's fine, because if he plays another 1/1, I can target 1/1/1, and if he Pendelhavens that one, I can kill the other one, untap both of them, in response kill the, you know, the original Visionary. So next turn, I'm still going to attack. He can't Pendelhaven to block. So I think I'm still just in a really good board state right now. Yeah, see, so this is really good for us. So we might as well get rid of this Visionary first. Because he can't Pendelhaven anymore. So Ringleader would be really good here. So would Pile Driver. I think Pile Driver would be what, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 would be exacties. Maggie's not bad either. Well, it's not great, but it does speed up our clock a little bit. 6-turn clock into a 4-turn clock. Now he'll know that we, you know, he's known that we haven't had a Goblin in our hands, so not really, you know, giving away too much information, not playing a Goblin off this lackey. And what's kind of cool is, you know, if he was able to, you know, get a Pendelhaven trigger through somehow, you know, I can always sharpshooter with my own lackey after sharpshooting once, and then untap both Goblin sharpshooters, and then get in for 2 more. So if I have, you know, disposable Goblins on the board, there's definitely ways to get more damage through on a Goblin sharpshooter. So let's go ahead and shoot this right away. Not really sure what he's doing. I mean, he kind of has to know that they're just going to die right away, so I think he's just kind of banking on me making a mistake, maybe. But there's no reason for me not to shoot it right away. So I'm kind of keeping him off natural order, which is maybe what he's trying to do. You know, if he's able to stick 1 more creature that guy's Cradle taps for 2. So I wonder if I can just do 1, 2, 3 damage to him. So I'm going to turn off auto yields. shoot the Sentinel. Hit him once. Hit him again. So we got Crater Hoof, Progenitus. Yep, Crater Hoof. So it'd be great. So something like Krenko would be very good. Mog War Marshal, which I think I sided out, would have been good. So Mountain's not great, but we're going to get in for... I think we've got lethal, because if I swing with the Goblin Lacking War Chief, he's got to block one of them. That's going to give us 2 damage. That'll put him down to 4. The Goblin Lackey getting through will put him down to 3. Then I can shoot him, use a sharpshooter, shoot the Lackey, and get 2 more in, and that'll be an extra 3. So I think it's going to be a good game. So definitely a grindy matchup. So I'm going to shoot him. Shoot him. Is that okay? He's saying good games. Good game. So I'll shoot him once. Shoot my Lackey. And then burn him out. Alright, got there. Sweet. Well, cool. So those are some good matches. Gonna start shooting some vintage now. So I'm gonna update my OBS. Buddy's giving some crap on my Goblins. Alright. So vintage Merfolk coming up. What's that? Alright, so let's switch it up. Some Merfolk. I put the list up on the right. Oh, gotta fix that. Deck list title. Merfolk. Alright. See if we can't find a game. We usually don't have to use, usually don't have to wait too long. Even in the vintage practice room, you know, a minute, couple minutes max. There's usually always some people want to pick up some games. So I've been playing Merfolk for about 2 months now. Not a ton. I've brought through one daily. Played a lot in the practice room. You know, it actually doesn't seem too bad right now. There's it's able to mainboard null rods, and Paradoxical Storm is a deck that's kind of gaining some traction right now. It's good against that. It's got the Force of Wills. It's got the Mental Missteps to answer kind of a wide variety of threats in Vintage. So. And it's able to build the board presence and put some pressure on pretty quickly. It's able to run Cavern of Souls, get around opponents' Force of Wills, or Dazes, or whatever their counter spells they happen to be running. So True Name Nemesis can win games. So it's kind of one of those decks that I feel like I'm a little bit surprised it's not played more. You know, it could just be my inexperience in the format talking, but yeah, it was pretty good in that match. Yeah, TGC, those are some pretty good games. Really grindy. So we're gonna go first here. We'll keep here. Curse Catcher's good on the play. Hopefully a turn 2 Master. Wasteland is good. I think we keep this. It's a little bit light on interaction, but it's got the potential for a fast clock. And we're able to push our Merfolk through with the Cavern, so hopefully it doesn't get wastelanded. So we'll start off with Curse Catcher. Update my stream title here real quick. So one interesting thing about playing Vintage online is you see a lot of you see the same people playing pretty frequently. So like Synergizer Bunny, for instance, it's just kind of a name I recognize from hanging out in the tournament practice room, and that happens with a lot. So I don't really think it's, yeah, I mean he's got the land up, so there's no point in trying to catch him with Curse Catcher. So he kind of knows that he's free to do any kind of broken stuff he wants. Except for that Curse Catcher. Yeah, Strip Mine's legal in Vintage. You know, there's very few cards that are actually banned in Vintage. There's some conspiracy cards. There's some of the older cards that talk about antis. But other than that, they don't really have a ban unless they have a restricted list. So you're still able to play with one of most cards in Magic. So now I have to decide if I want to run out a Master and build my clock. Well, now I don't have to decide. I can just run out both Masters, maybe? So I'm going to Wasteland here, and I'm just going to try to run out both Masters. If he tries to counter one, I'd give up a Curse Catcher for that. So that first one's going to be uncounterable, and then this one. Alright, so, and he's a blue deck, so this Island Walk is pretty relevant. So even if he's able to get, I don't know if he's Just Guy, but gets a Mentor out, gets a Young Pyromancer out, all those little blockers won't do anything if I still have one of these Masters. So it's kind of another advantage of Merfolk. Obviously, Vintage is a very blue format, so all of the Island Walk ends up being very relevant. It's also nice when he double Lightning Bolts himself. 1, 2, 3 Gitaxian Probes. So we've almost got lethal on the board. Another Lord would do it. So, well, you know, originally I thought that, so TGC Requiem, originally I thought that he was probably on Jeskai, just because Jeskai is pretty popular online, and I saw the Volcanic Island. He still could be, might be splashing for black. But there's a deck called Grixis Thieves in Vintage, and I'm like really new to the format, so I don't have a lot of confidence in calling you know, decks yet. A lot of times it's just more of like a general feeling, like I know if a deck is like a Gush deck, or you know, it's big blue, or it's you know, if it's a Shops deck. They kind of fit into these like broad archetypes, but there's a lot of room for brewing, a lot of room for like tweaks in Vintage. So sometimes that makes it a little harder to, you know, nail down exactly what deck you're playing. But I think you kind of get like a general feel for what your opponent's trying to do. So Misstep's not bad. I mean, he basically has one turn to find an answer. And even then I have the Curse Catcher to try to prevent something. I've got Mental Misstep. So Opal. So actually, with how many artifacts I've seen, I'm guessing this is probably a Paradoxical Oath deck, and I could just die this turn. So that's pretty bad. So we got more than enough mana. Yeah, so I think I'm probably just dead this turn. I can't counter it. So, kind of in Paradoxical Oath, I don't think it hasn't been putting up a whole lot of tournament results, but it is definitely one of the most played decks in the tournament practice room. If my experience, I probably should have misstepped that. If my experience is anything to go off of, probably not the worst thing to get the Divining Top instead. I mean, he's already got so much mana. You know, the 2 up the Soul Ring probably doesn't matter too much, but the card draw with the so actually, like a Time Twister would be really sweet here. So Empty the Warrens is good, because I have Island Walk. So let's let those all resolve. Yeah, so he has to find a way to get rid of these. Oh, yeah, so he just time walked. So we'll concede. Alright, so Paradoxical Outcome. I like Surgical Extraction. True Name's a little bit slow. Don't really need Dismember. Null Rod's obviously very good. I could bring in Stifles. Not really sure what I'd stifle. I don't know enough about the deck. Know how many like fetches, if I'll catch them on a fetch, or and Stifle is just kind of worse in Vintage than it is in Legacy anyway, because Mental Misstep's a card. Yeah, I think just bringing in the Surgical Extractions is good. Hopefully counter the first Paradoxical Outcome, and then grab the second one from the graveyard, or grab it from the graveyard, get all the rest of them. So this is really good. We're gonna be able to get a turn 1 Null Rod hopefully with Forcible backup. So this is why you play Vintage. Yeah, you can't stifle Black Lotus because it's a mana ability, as far as I know. I've never actually tried to stifle one, but that's kind of my thought. So I might as well... So my Mox Sapphire and my Lotus Petal... So I'm a little bit tempted to run out the True Name Nemesis first. Make use of that Lotus Petal. Wait a turn to do a Null Rod. I'm not sure how much broken stuff he can do turn 1 when I have a Force of Will. And the Lotus Petal is not going to be good after the Null Rod resolve, so we'll see if he's got the Force of Will. So that gives us a clock. Hopefully he doesn't do anything too broken next turn. If he does, I might be able to Force a Will. And then hopefully stick this Null Rod. And these decks are really, really bad without Null Rod. Yeah, Stifle would be really good if you could get mana abilities. Well, that's pretty good. So, you know, with the True Name out, I have a clock. I don't necessarily mind drawing into another Null Rod just in case it's not able to get through. So we'll try to get this first one down. So it does limit our mana, but again, that's kind of why we let out with the True Name Nemesis. It gives us a clock that's super hard to remove. And even on 1 mana, you know, sometimes True Name Nemesis is enough to just kind of win the game on its own. So that's fine. That's pretty good too. They do run Chain of Vapor. Well, I can't cast that second one because my Mox Sapphire doesn't work. So, but I got Mental Misstep. It'd be nice to draw another blue card now. So that's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and misstep that. It does get rid of my force, but I'm just really hoping to draw into another blue card. I'm kind of hoping that the Null Rod's kind of enough of a safety net that I can afford to do that. So maybe that's the wrong play. Maybe it was good to just hold on to that force, but we got there. So this is where that Chain of Vapor could be bad next turn, because I'm not going to be able to force it. But obviously if I spend my force on this, then I'm not going to have a force anyway. So I think at that point, I'd just rather save onto the Phantasmal Image and just hope to draw into the land and just increase my clock. Yeah, Josh, or TGC Requiem. I definitely can't. This force is kind of a dead card now, but if I wanted to force, I would have had to get rid of this Phantasmal Image. And if I had drawn a land instead of this Mental Misstep, then I could have cast the Phantasmal Image and at least increased my clock by copying True Name Nemesis. And if I had wasted my force on the defense grid, then I wouldn't have it available for a Paradoxical Outcome or anything anyway. I don't really think there's anything that I really want to grab with the Surgical Extraction. Okay. Love you. Oh, okay. Okay, maybe I won't stream as long as I plan to then. Okay, good night. Yeah, so, I mean, I could extract Preordain just in case he's just digging for answers. But, you know, I think that the worst thing that could happen next turn is he could Chain of Vapor the Null Rod and just go off. But if not, if I draw another land, I might be able to get my Lord down, swinging for 4. So we'll just see if he has it, or she. Yeah, it might have been okay to force a will that defense grid. I mean, seeing my draws, I kind of just would have had Mental Misstep anyway. So I don't think I would have been able to keep from doing anything too busted. But I was really just banking on hopefully drawing another land to be able to get another True Name Nemesis out with that Phantasmal Image, and then maybe just a backup Null Rod. So I think I still like this configuration even on the draw. I don't think there's really anything else in the board worth bringing in. Again, maybe just the Stifles. I'm not really sure if they run any basics. Ghost Quarter might just be as good as a Strip Mine, but with how much, I mean, it just kind of keep them off colored mana. So those Ghost Quarters be better than, say, like I could take out like one True Name on the draw and bring in one Ghost Quarter. Does slow me down a little bit. I think we'll try this. Run it back. So we got the Force of Will. We've got a Null Rod, we've got a land. So we're really just one land away from having a really good start. I think I'm going to risk this one just because it has some pretty powerful cards. And just kind of hope I draw into a land in the next 2 turns. So he's mulliganing too, so that just kind of makes the keep a little bit better. Do they run Past in Flames? I'm not totally sure about that. They run Time Twister, and I think some of them run Wheel of Fortune. So I kind of want to misstep this. I mean, it just keeps them off card. I think the information is maybe even a little bit more valuable. So we got another Force of Will. Yep, so might drop a lot of. So now we will Force of Will this. And let's get rid of a Lord. So he's down to 2 cards. Just draw a land would be great. So I might just have to wait a turn or 2. But we still have some good interaction. Preordain, I'll misstep that. On 2 cards, I don't really want him fixing his draw. So there's our island. Here's a Null Rod. Not only does that, you know, it's pretty much a strip mine at this point. Doesn't hurt us in any way. So now we'll start using these Silver Gill Adepts to try to get back some card advantage. So this hand is just getting better and better. So that's fine. Useless Mox. I mean, they do still contribute to Tolarian Academy. Not really sure there's, you know, much reason to just run them out, but so he's gonna Chain of Vapor. So I'm gonna misstep. So that's one thing I really like about Merfolk is that it just runs a lot of interaction, like a full playset of Mental Missteps, full playset of Force of Wills. I could fit, you know, Mind Break Traps if I didn't want to mainboard Null Rods, but I'm able to fit, you know, 3 mainboard Null Rods. There's just a lot of really good general answers. So you can see we won that match. So I think I'll play one more. I was planning to stream till midnight, but my wife just went to bed and mentioned my son's kind of coughing, so it might be kind of a long night if he's getting up sick. So I think just one more match and I'll call it good. Get at least a couple games of Vintage in. So I'm actually gonna go fill up my water real quick. Fritz the cat, huh? So I won the dice roll. Curse Catcher, 2 Lords, some interaction. I think it's keepable. No Force of Will, but you can't Force of Will in every hand. Make sure we get this Curse Catcher through. So TGC Requiem, when are you going to get a Vintage deck? We'll run a Lord out here. So Misty, I hope we're not playing Oath. Oath's a pretty tough deck to beat. Obviously I like us having creatures, and I can't win without playing them. Finds a volcanic island. So maybe we're playing Jeskai Control. So I like running the Wasteland out here and just another Lord. You might Gush here. That's fine. Ancestral Recall. So we'll counter that. So he'll counter my counter. He's got 1 mana floating, so I can't catch him with the Curse Catcher. So see if he gushes there. He doesn't. So that's great for us. We'll just increase our clock. Yeah, Black Lotus would be nice, Josh. Okay, yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, so the Paradoxical Storm decks are new enough. I don't know if there's like a best build out there yet. Alright, so we've got Lethal on board. So we'll see whether Fritz the Cat has an answer. 2 islands seems pretty good for us. Limits what he can play pretty much. Alright, so blue deck. I didn't see green, so I don't think we were playing an Oath deck. The thing is, if he's playing Jessica, I definitely want to bring in more of those Dismembers. And even then, we saw red, so we might be running Young Pyromancer. I think I'm going to take the Null Rods out. Null Rods. Maybe bring in 1 more Dismember. And 2 Stifles. Just try to get him on a fetch land or something. And then the Dismembers just kind of back up in case he's actually playing Mentor. Yeah, I don't mind you being that far away from shops. That can be a tough deck. This is not a great hand. But it's not a terrible hand. I think I'll keep it. Kind of wish I had some free interaction. But the Ancestral Recall can help. So we'll run the island out there, and that'll let us stifle potentially if he tries to fetch with a Scalding turn. So we're just going to try to hold up that, hold up a blue for stifle. Not in a huge hurry. Run out Curse Catcher. He might misstep. That's fine. Yeah, I'm trying to think what deck you'd like best in Vintage TGC. I actually think Oath kind of fits your playstyle. It's able to grind some games out. It's got some, you know, silver bullet creatures that get to cheat them into play. It's able to run Force of Will. It's able to, you know, it's got enough blue in it to run Force of Wills. Some other free interactions. There's a couple different types of builds for it. Yeah, Dredge is fun. I just don't like playing a deck that's just so weak to, you know, certain single cards. So we're going to try to Stifle here. I don't think it's going to get any better. See if he wants to waste a Force of Will on it. Maybe he's got a misstep. So he got the misstep. That's fine.
At Sam Adams, we're constantly improving who we are, what we do.
All right,
and
so
how we brew. We may craft over
3,
60
4.
styles of beer.
How much does
Boston
omniscience
lager that
cost?
has captured the heart of America since 1984. With its deep amber color, caramel notes, and signature hop character. What better to have in your pint glass? Sam Adams Boston Lager. Pursue better.
Boston Beer Company, Boston, Mass. Safe responsibly.
Treasure Cruise is pretty good. Can't do anything about that. So there's that young pyromancer. He's gonna get some value here. The probe. So we didn't need to find an answer to start building our board. Yeah, vintage elves. I mean, maybe. Vintage is actually a pretty good brewer's format. Okay, so it's a pretty nice force of will there. I think I'm going to run out Silvergill Adept. And then I've got Ancestral Recall mana up. So there's Mox Sapphire. So I could Time Walk here, I could run a Lord out. Honestly, I think a Time Walk might be what I need to keep for Force of Will. I think having a Lord is better. And Recall is obviously better. So I think I run the Lord out now.
This is our city tonight. We can do whatever we like.
See if this gets a force. Nope. So that gives us some blockers for these little elemental tokens. As long as they can stick around. Obviously, that might eat a lightning bolt, but you know, I'd consider forcing that. But yeah, untapping with that young pyromancer is not good for me. So there's a Time Walk. I think I Force of Will that with my own Time Walk. See if he's got one. So it doesn't. That tells me that it's probably okay to cast my Ancestral Recall. True Name is very good. So we'll cast that first. So there's that Force of Will. So that lets us get out the True Name. And I'm going to start swinging in. So I've got on a 2-turn clock as the board stands right now. And I've got some blockers back that are kind of going to limit, hopefully, you know, how much you can put there. He's only got 2 cards. He's only got 3 tokens. Now he's only got 1 card that's action. So we won that match. So yeah, Merfolk's doing pretty well. If you know, 2 matches in the tournament practice room or anything to go off of. But you know, it's kind of what I found. I've actually had a really good win rate with Merfolk in the practice room. You know, I know people tend to brew more in the practice room. It's not necessarily, you know, tournament caliber. But, you know, I do see a lot of the same opponents that I see in dailies. I play them in the tournament practice room. It's not that large of a community. So, you know, kind of based off that, how Merfolk's been doing in tournament practice room, based off the one daily I've played with it, where I went 3-1. I don't think it's in a bad spot right now. And again, some of that's due to its strength against the Paradoxical Oath deck, or Paradoxical Oath decks. Part of that's due to it's got a game against the Just Guy Mentor decks, the Gush decks. It's not unwinnable against shops, although that can be a pretty tough matchup. Oath is not unwinnable, you know, if you're able to have enough counters or answers to the, you know, their Oath of Druid. So I don't think it's in a bad spot right now. But anyway, that's the stream for tonight. Cutting it short a little bit. I was hoping to play till at least midnight, but again, with my son being sick, it might be worth it to try to get to bed a little bit sooner than later, because it might end up being a long night. So if you're watching the stream, thanks for stopping by. Hope to start streaming probably at least once a week. Thursdays are usually a good night, but hopefully, you know, two or even 3 times a week would be great. Most of the time at night, so feel free to stop by again, and have a good night.